This is okay. Now,
Awesome.
And your name is?
My name's Esteban Mora. This is my story for you guys. I don't know. I was trying to stick with one, but it just might be kind of the best of like certain ones. But basically, I just wanted to let everybody know that like when you're young, you really think you have everything figured out. You think you know the world. You think you're like the king or queen or whatever. But when you get older, you realize that like when you're young, you should have stayed young, and when you're older, it's a whole new process that I don't really know. Basically, it's just being a kid is great, and you stay a kid as long as you can. And when I see kids nowadays, and I'm probably dating myself now, saying like everyone's in a rush to grow up and be an adult, and just take your time, really, like. Because those moments are gonna fly by. Before you know it, it's just gonna be, you and yourself. Really, you can only really hold yourself truly accountable for your actions. And I believe that if we all kind of ease on kids and definitely let them be kids. If kids are loud, let them be loud. Like they know to have an inside voice, they know when not to have an inside voice, and all these things are good for everybody. And it just takes us as adults, and I'm using this term loosely because I'm still maturing. I feel like I'm an adult teenager, kind of getting there. So what I really wanted to just share is that kids, if you see any kids, if you have kids or kids who, like, art is a big thing for me. Like, I live for my art. Art is like a huge thing for me. And if you see kids who have any interest in art or sports or anything, really, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I've come to realize that we're all pretty much sharing the same stories. We're all living the same lives, except it's just different. Everyone's different. We all have our own special, unique stuff that makes us us, while we all have the same stuff that makes us all the same. We all kind of have the same stuff we relate to. So really, I would just say, if you have younger kids or brothers and sisters, like, you just be there for them. You just offer support, whether they're an artist or musician or athlete or movie director. I mean, the list goes on. Like,
tell me,
yes.
One question I asked is, have you ever been bullied?
Oh, yeah, I've had that before.
What have you been?
I definitely was picked on or bullied, as people use the word now, because back then it was just, that's what happens, really. And
can you tell us specifically?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I definitely didn't have anyone to reach out to back then, because if you live in a small town, if you kind of have a revolutionary, quote-unquote, like, big idea kind of thing, a lot of people don't pick up on that. And when I was a lot little, people would just, see me by myself and just assume, like, oh, that kid is not being sociable, like, he's not interacting with other kids and stuff, and that's fine. It was just my way of kind of coping with the fact that you can't really make friends as easily as you want. I mean, everybody tries to make friends, but some people the thing about bullies with me, and, like, my story with it, is I've come to realize that I see the people who bullied me in school now, and I come to realize that it was just their issues that were driving them to that they needed love, they needed to reach out to somebody, and the only way to do that is to do the opposite of that, is just hate people and to kind of put them down and stuff because they can't love themselves. It's not an easy task to just turn on the light switch and be like, oh, okay, I see myself in a good light and I'm going to love myself and stuff. So I think as far as that kind of stuff goes, it probably would just be to just, probably speak up about it. You want to tell people about it, and if it's to the point where, like, your life's on the line or something like that, you definitely need to reach out to anybody and talk to them about it, because it never got to me to the point where I wanted to put myself in a negative position. All that hurt and pain actually that those people caused to me when I was younger actually solidified me now and kind of made me I don't want to use the word stronger or empowered, but I definitely feel more at peace with myself and my surroundings, and even those who aren't at peace with themselves. I can still be at peace within myself around them. So don't let bullies get you down. Don't let them, bring you. Just keep doing what you're doing, and like I said, just reach out to people, even a stranger on the bus. Like, if you reach out to anybody, like, you'd be surprised. You'd really be surprised. Definitely don't judge people by the way they look, too.
I'm going to hop in on this.
Yes.
I saw an article recently where people who were given free Starbucks coupons to talk to random people on the bus, and then they were interviewed afterwards, and they ended up being happier after the experience than not talking to anybody. So I like that. Now, were you bullied at all because you were maybe macho enough, or you're a sensitive guy? Or
I never understood masculinity, per se. Like, I just kind of see people as people regardless of whatever box we're in or whatever kind of rapper we're in or whatever, but it definitely was, being sensitive isn't cool kind of thing. It definitely was that. Like, it was always like, all my friends were like, like girls and stuff, and boys would see like, how come you're all friends with all the girls and stuff, and how come we can't be friends with the girls? It's like, well, because of that attitude right there. Like, you put people in boxes, and you're gonna separate yourself. Before you know it, you're living in a prison and you're free. So that really is like, it was just such a difficult time, like when you're young, dealing with all this, because you don't understand, you don't have a healthy outlet for it. But art definitely has been, besides people, I mean, besides the music, art, all these things, really just, that's been the saving grace for me, is just reaching out to people and sharing that, because you think somebody else has it worse, and usually, more than likely, the chances are they probably do. But everyone's difficulties and struggles are valid, but I know a lot of people have have had some stories to share that aren't so sunny, I guess you could say. But things are always the most difficult before it gets better, and it's cheesy and corny to say all these things, but it's really in your positive outlook, like how you see things, how you view the world. So really, it's just kind of up to you what you want to decide. Do you want to live in the, the rain, or do you want to live in the sun? Like, you can do a little bit of both every now and then. That's fine. That's life, really. There's no handbook. You just kind of roll with it. Anything else you want to touch base on?
One of the lessons you learn maybe is that when you're having a tough time in high school, that there will be a new day, that you'll get over it eventually.
Oh yeah, all that stuff will just, you think you know the world, how it works and everything, but honestly, one day you're gonna wake up and you're just gonna be like, I'm good. I don't need extra stuff. I mean, like, everything that is in your life, honestly, is for a purpose. Like, even if you don't think it's good or bad, and that's the biggest thing, is you can't label yourselves as good and bad people. We're human beings. We make mistakes. We've all been hurt. We've all done all these things. So if you see people struggling, in pain, like, if you feel the need to help them, then help them. Or if you just want to give them a smile or say, hey, how you doing today, like, that little tiny thing really makes the world like a better place. Like, it really does. It's like one thing, and then turns into a bunch of other stuff, and then before you know it, we're living in a giant heart-shaped world, possibly. Anything else?
That's good.
Awesome.
Thanks, Esteban.
People of Earth, goodbye. Peace out. Thank you for having me. That was fun.